Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
I think that's terrible. I do not want my stuff stolen.
You should check to find out if you've been affected by what could be one of the biggest ever data breaches to hit the United States.
Equifax, one of the three major credit reporting agencies, says nearly half of Americans are victims.
Names, social security numbers, addresses, credit card information, driver's license numbers, and possibly more have been exposed.
Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson explains the magnitude of the hack and how to find out if you've been impacted.
Not a robot.
This is Linda Matthews, the first person I found downtown Fargo this afternoon, willing to check if she's a victim of the Equifax cyber attack. I logged her onto this website where you enter your information to see if you've been affected.
May have been impacted by this incident. Click the button below to continue your enrollment.
She is, and she's not alone. Around 143 million people are dealing with their personal information being exposed and are being offered free credit monitoring from Equifax.
Credit bureaus have an all-encompassing knowledge of your credit file, so it's definitely something that people should take seriously.
Experts say this hack is much more serious than a store or website breach. You don't have to be a customer of Equifax or even know what it is to be affected. Everyone is fair game. Experts say the exposed data provides everything an identity thief would need.
That's certainly an opportunity for somebody to take advantage of information and utilize that in a malicious way.
And I apologize to every affected consumer and all of our partners.
While the scope of this attack is much larger than others in the past, what you should do remains the same. Monitoring your credit is key. Watch out for anything suspicious.
It's scary. It's very, very scary.
The hack is leaving many feeling helpless. In fact, the company is now facing a multi-billion-dollar class action lawsuit accused of not protecting consumers' data. In Fargo, Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
If you haven't checked to see if you've been impacted by the attack, then you can log on to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. You do have to enter in a portion of your social security number, which is drawing some concern. However, experts say the website seems to be secure, but you could be leaving yourself out of the lawsuit against Equifax. We'll have details on that tonight on Valley News Live at 9 on Fargo CW and Valley News Live 10 at 10.
The mother of the Alexandria, Minnesota teenager who was held captive and assaulted for nearly a month says her daughter is recovering. Jasmine Block disappeared on August 9th, and she wasn't able to escape her captors until Tuesday. The teen got away by swimming across a lake and eventually getting help from a farmer. Her mother, Sarah, says finally being able to see her daughter again was the greatest feeling following 29 days of the worst feeling. She says Jasmine is still haunted by the faces of the men who assaulted her.
No one should ever have to go through it, and a child, you know, having to go through all the stuff that she did, it's really horrific.
32-year-old Thomas Barker, 31-year-old Joshua Holby, and 20-year-old Stephen Powers are charged with kidnapping and sexual assault.
Police in Barnesville are looking for any information on a car that two juveniles may have stolen. Around 8:30 last night, officers got a report that two boys were trying to get inside a parked vehicle. Take a look at this photo. Police say the car seen here has not been ruled as the suspect vehicle. They just want some information about where it may be. It's described as a small silver car. If you have any information at all, you can call police at 218-354-2281.
The future of a former Fargo police officer is still undecided after a day-long hearing. David Belke is appealing his firing to the city's Civil Service Commission. Belke was fired for dereliction of duty. His attorney today questioned the leadership of the police department, asking why it took so long to fire Belke if his conduct was so bad for so long. Belke was fired after a lengthy investigation, saying, among other things, he had not filed reports, lacked empathy, and was disrespectful toward the department. Today's hearing will be continued, but there's no word on when that will be.
It's Friday and time to take a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Police say Ryan Kinslow is wanted for a probation violation on felony drug charges. You can call your local law enforcement if you have any information on Kinslow.
Weekend is off to a nice start. Here's hoping it stays this nice, even gets better. Let's find out from Hutch about tonight's conditions, especially for high school football fans who'll be outside cheering on their favorite team. Hutch?
Well, we've had a cooler Friday to close out our work week, and air mass over Minnesota has backed its way to the west into North Dakota. So most of us seeing temperatures set back. The coolest air in central Minnesota. That's where a light jacket may come in handy for your Friday night football fun. As we take a look at your forecast planner for Fargo, crystal clear skies. Winds will decrease after sunset. There is a chance of those northern lights out once again tonight. Look up to the north just above the horizon with the clear skies. Maybe you'll have a chance to upload some photos to valleynewslive.com. Your weekend outlook coming up here, Mike, in a few minutes.
Thanks.
A dozen people are searching for a new home and cleaning up after fire ripped through their apartment building last night in Wahpeton. It happened just after 11 p.m. in the 1700 block of 9th Street North. The cause is still undetermined, but fire officials think it started in a bottom-level apartment. The Richland emergency manager says the 12-unit building has been destroyed from fire and water damage. There were no injuries or deaths, the emergency manager attributing that to the community.
We had some accountability issues regarding residents, if they were all out or not. Wahpeton Police Department and residents knocked on doors and woke up people and saved some lives by them doing that, because otherwise residents said they would have slept through it.
Lambrick says this incident is a good reminder why people should have renter's insurance and working smoke alarms. The American Red Cross is helping 12 people from that fire.
North Dakota's Secretary of State has declined to give voter information to a commission looking at election fraud. Al Jaeger notified President Donald Trump's commission this week that the state won't release the information. Jaeger says that North Dakota can't release some of the information because it doesn't apply to the state because it has no voter registration, and that North Dakota law also forbids the state from releasing details about voters. The state had considered handing over information earlier after the commission pledged not to make public individual voters' information, but later decided against it.
The North Dakota Army National Guard's top soldiers forged through an exhausting 4 days of military challenges to test their Army skills, spirit, and durability. 17 Guardsmen from across the state fought through adversity to try to outscore their fellow competitors during this year's Best Warrior competition at the Camp Grafton Training Center near Devils Lake, North Dakota. The Best Warrior competition was filled with difficult events, including obstacle courses, shooting challenges, and written exams. Sergeant Timothy Sabrant of Lincoln and Specialist Brandon Wendland of Fargo took top honors and now will prepare for the regional competition, which will be held at Fort Richardson, Alaska in May 2018. Regional winners advance to compete in the All-Guard competition, and if they win there, have the opportunity to compete in the All-Army competition.
In Grand Forks, School Superintendent Larry Nyblad is stepping down. Nyblad has written a letter to the district school board asking that they approve his request to retire as of June of next year. Nyblad has been in Grand Forks since 2008. Before that, he served as superintendent in Moorhead for 8 years. The board will take up the matter Monday night.
People in a local neighborhood are unhappy about cats running around, and they're working to track them down. We'll have details later on Valley News Live, 10 at 10.
But next, an update on Hurricane Irma. Also, Hurricanes Katia and Jose churning about. And your weekend outlook looks like some warm weather and a few storms are in tap. I'll have details coming up right after this.